If there was ever a time that your self-love came second to your craft, I want you to go grab your crochet hook or whatever it is that you do. If you need a cup of tea or something, y'all, this video is for you. I will see y'all once these credits run. Hello, my beautiful, amazing crochet family. I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, Lady-Samoan. Y'all, I have something new for y'all today. We are going to slow it down just a little bit. And I came up with this idea to actually come and talk with my crochet family, to share myself a little more with my crochet family. And we can do that all while we are crafting together. So for this video, I am going to talk a little bit about self love, my journey to self love, because I realize, y'all, that there at there's a lot of us in this world, but we are all more alike than we are different. And sometimes our differences will like to make us think like we have nothing in common. But I would like to beg the difference. And, I'm a person that's all about love. And I found love in crochet. My love for crochet exudes out in every project that I do, but sometimes, it wasn't always like that. And I wanted to come up with something to where I can actually just be truthful. I can actually give more than my crochet to my crochet family. I want to be able to share my life, my experiences, my love, because I feel like that is a part of my purpose. So this whole series is going to be Stitches to Soul. It's not a podcast. It's called a love cast. So that's something that I actually came up with that I want to call it is Stitches to Soul Love Cast. And that is just me coming and talking to you about different topics, and we can just chat it up together. So before we get started, I'm going to show y'all the project that I will be working on, which will be my granny square blanket that I need to complete in for this month. So I figured that granny square was the easiest thing that I can actually work on while I'm actually talking. Y'all, I did not write nothing down for these. I am better at just going off the top of my head, and I'm better at just sharing what comes to my heart. Now, when I was preparing for this love cast, when I was preparing for this, I was just like, you know what? I want to share my journey of self love. And it is an ongoing journey, but I feel like there's certain things that's intertwined within that we all can learn from. So, before I get to stitching, I did a thing yesterday, y'all. I went back and I was looking through some of my old notebooks because I always love to write. I have wrote things down since I was just, I guess, since I could remember when I could write. And I always had a journal. So I found this journal. I'm going to show y'all this journal. You can see it's battered, it's beat up. And on the thing we have 2009, 2010, we have 2007, 2008. So you're talking way over 10, 15 years, right? And I like to keep a lot of the journals that I had way back when, and sometimes I'll look through them because I can forget a lot of things. And if you watch some of my videos, you'll kind of notice that sometimes I'll be like, oh, like trying to figure out what I was supposed to say. So my memory is not the best, but my journals help me dive back into some of those memories. And I was looking in this book, and it was a journal entry. I'm not sure what was the date on it because I didn't timestamp it, but it touched me, and I was just like, you know what? I wonder how many people actually deal with that when it comes down to self love. So I'm going to read the journal entry, y'all. And like I said in the beginning, I hope y'all got y'all crochet, craft, or whatever it is that you do. And I hope y'all have something to drink because we're going to sit here and we're going to talk because y'all are my crochet family. And I feel like I can share these things with y'all. So we're going to talk it through. So the journal entry, it was question. And it says, Why is it so hard accepting who I am as a person? Now, when I read the question part of this journal entry, at first I was just like, oh my goodness, that's heavy. That is like heavy. And I was like almost afraid to see what I wrote. But here we go. It's really short. And I said, beginning this entry is a little hard for me because ever since I was a young girl, I can never remember a moment when I look at myself and saw beauty, love, or joy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to get through this without tearing up because it is a little heavy for me. Um, Sorry, this question is very hard for me also because even though I'm 22 years old, at the time I was 22, um, I still don't know how it feels to go through life, saying I love my body and all that's with it. I truly and honestly do love myself, but I don't know if I have love for my body. Okay, we got through it, y'all. And mm, So this is going to be just the purest form of, what's on my heart. So excuse me if I get a little emotional, but when you deal with something for so long, right? Sometimes you realize that in life that can be such a hard challenge for you, and you not even know that it comes out in all aspects of your life. Even as you get older, you can have people around you that love you. You can have people around you that tell you that you're beautiful. You can have people around you that says so many different things to you that you feel like you're worthy of it, but then a little part of you still goes back to those moments to where nobody knows that ultimate feeling but yourself. And sometimes that ultimate feeling is your hard truth of like, but I don't feel loved. I don't, how can I exude so much of this thing, but I can't give myself that thing? And that's in that moment when I read that, it hit me in the gut, punched me because I remember being in that space and I was there for a long time. I had no problems giving love, being nice, following the rules. And y'all, I grew up in a country setting, like total country. I always say my roots are deeply seated in the country, y'all, dirt road, and I love it. Love it. But one thing, if I had to be honest in this moment, is that there were some things and that was said, whether it's from family members, whether it's from other kids or whatnot. But if you weren't the skinniest person back then it was automatic name calling. I remember even from elders that there was always like, oh, you got to push back from the table. Oh, there were so many different names. And to them, it may seem like, oh, that's just, a little nickname they give kids or something that they say. But really, those things can seep into someone's psyche and stays with them, and that's who you think you are, especially at such a young age. Everybody else around you, the beauty standards is if you're smaller. For some people, culturally, it could be if you're lighter skin or whatever it was growing up for a lot of people. For me, it was like if you're smaller, and I'm pretty sure in different cultures, in different places and areas is different for a lot of people. Y'all, I'm gonna try to crochet as I'm talking to y'all, but sometimes that don't happen, so excuse me long as y'all are crocheting or crafting, okay? So there's different things honestly for different people that affect them as time go on and as they get older, and that was my thing. My thing was my weight. I have never, from growing up, I have never been a the smaller person in the group, right? And although I was the youngest kid in my family group, as in my parents, of my siblings, I'm the youngest, but I always was bigger than my older siblings. And I'm like, but one thing I would say too, as I continue to tell the story, is that I never felt out of place with my siblings or my parents because they were so loving and they were always trying to encourage. But it's hard to get encouragement sometimes when you have people around you that's telling you otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Because then you start looking like, oh, that's my mom. That's what she's supposed to say. Or that's my dad. Of course he's going to say that. I'm his baby girl, or my sisters. Yeah, they're just trying to, protect my feelings. So for me, that's how I actually looked at it. So there were moments, y'all, to where that self-love was not there for me. There was moments to where growing up, I can remember that I suppressed who I was or didn't even understand who I was because my identity was held from different perspectives and viewpoints from what other people was telling me. So if that wasn't the standard, or if they didn't say this is beauty or this is pretty, then I did not believe that no matter how much someone else could tell me, I was not understanding that because on top of being called certain names or told certain things, I didn't understand what none of it was. And these are things that I carried with me way up into adulthood. Like when I read the journal entry, I'm like, dang, I was in my 20s thinking like that. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that now, where I am now, I understand what self love is. Because in order for me to sit in front of this camera, in order for me to actually just be who I am to so many people in this world and in life, I had to learn how to be that thing for myself. So I'm gonna try not to make this video super long, and I'm gonna try to get out everything that I want to say about this topic because I think it's so important for people to understand that you are not alone. A lot of times we come and grow up with different people perspectives, different people beliefs, sorry, different people ideologies that has nothing to do with us. It's not even who we are. It's not even a part of our purpose. But because we grew up in a thing or we are around the thing so much, that thing become a dominance to who we actually are or who we should have unfold to. So I had to learn, in order to love myself, I had to love myself enough to get rid of all of what other people had put on me. So that was a journey all within itself because I then begin to understand that what I believed was not really what I actually believed. My beliefs was built upon other people's opinions. My belief was built upon what other people may have experienced themselves, and it came out and expressed it to me to try to put what they were feeling on me, and I took a hold of that. So then I had to learn, okay, what exactly does self-love looks like for me? What is that feeling? So then one process for me that came along was that people will always say how I would be so nice to them and how I will make them feel good and all of that. So I will look at like, okay, how am I treating people? So I took how I was treating people, and then I'm like, okay, if these people are feeling these certain way, I need to feel this way about myself because it's easy for me to give love, but it was hard for me to accept that self-love for myself. So then I start saying, okay, what is it that I love? And what is it that what I don't love? What is it that does not feel good to me? What is it that feels good to me? So then I begin to take like a survey on myself. I begin to understand who I was, not only on the surface level but internally, because sometimes we can say a thing but internally we feel totally different. You can say something in a crowd and it's like, oh, that's the right thing to say. You really feel like, oh, that's what I should say, but really that wasn't how you feel internally. So then I had to take the little things, because some people can say, well, this person said a thing to them and it's like, oh, it is what it is, it doesn't really bother me. But then internally it's like something, it because you go home and you're still thinking about what that person said, so it lets you know that that thing really did bother you. So I had to take all of these little instances, all of these things, and I had to say, you know what, that really bothers me. That really bothered me. So I was taking kind of like I guess I was doing like a little survey on myself. Like, how does this look? How does this feel? Okay, let's get rid of this. I did not like this feeling. Oh my goodness, no. And all of those things helped me take away the things that people placed on me. And then I begin to build up myself. And I begin to understand, like, you know what? No, I really like this. Or no, I really don't like this. And then not only that, it helped me build up a voice for myself, because when I begin to help myself understand the things that I like and the things that I did not like, I was able to talk to people and say, hey, y'all, I don't like that. Like, you may say you don't mean anything by it, but I feel some way when you say a thing, so because I when it comes down to not having that level of self-love, sometimes you will find yourself trying to actually fit in and trying to actually save other people's feelings and letting yours go to the side. And I was that type of person. It was like I was trying to please. I was a people pleaser. I was a person that was like, okay, I don't want to say the wrong thing to make this person feel bad, but that person didn't care if they said something that made me feel bad. So I had to learn that there was balance in all of this, right? There's this thing to where this is how I was feeling, but it's okay for me to tell the person who was making me feel this way how they are making me feel as well, without guilt and without shame. So once I learned that, that just skyrocketed and built, me up to another level of what self-love really was. Now, one more thing I wanted to say about the self love too, that I found in the process of me actually, just discovering these different things about myself. And actually, I would say discovering my voice in the whole process was that it was okay for me to love what I love. And if people did not like it or love it, it's okay too. So I had to learn that, because we are in such a subjective type space when it comes down to creation, when it comes down to just things in general. People have an opinion about everything, but just because you have an opinion about something, that does not hold that opinion to be truth or fact. That does not, say, hey, I believe this and that's it. That's not what that is. So I had to learn that as well, because, like, say for me, let's just take for example the colors on my nails. Somebody may say, you know what, I don't like long nails, or I don't like the colors on your nails. That's okay, because it's not for you. That's something that you don't like. But I had to learn that if I like it, then it's okay. That's all that matters, because I find the love within myself. I rather have myself walk around feeling extremely great and being able to pull from a full cup versus me feeling extremely terrible and having to pour from an empty or a halfway cup. Because some people would rather you walk around feeling at your lowest and still try to take things from you. It's like, no, 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 no. I learned that in order for me to do what it is that I came here on this earth to do, I have to be at my maximum, right? In order for me to love my children, to love my husband, to love my mom, to love my sisters, to love my family and my friends, I have to be at my maximum. So then, in order, when I started building up this self love, I also understood that different connections that you have, it's not all the time going to be a forever connection. I'm going to say that one again. I had to learn on this journey, different connections that you have are not going to always be a forever connection, because I had a problem with that. I had a problem thinking that, okay, if I'm friends with someone, it was hard for me to let people go. It was hard for me to understand, like, why they were feeling a certain way. It was hard for me to understand that, yes, there was mistakes that could have been made within the friendship or within the relationship, and it was hard for me to forgive myself and let that go, instead of holding on to the thought and the ideas of what I felt that other person may have been feeling. Y'all, that was one of the hardest things for me on this self-love journey, because I had some people, I'm like, I don't understand where the disconnect could have came from. I don't understand XYZ, could have been something I said. So then you start beating yourself up. I started like questioning myself, and I'm like, but I don't think it was. And if it was, I apologize. I want you to tell me how, whatever. But I realized, like, not everybody who's a part of your journey is there to be there forever. They are just there to help you get to where you're supposed to ultimately be going. And I had to learn and understand that. And once I understood that, man, self love started skyrocketing again because I could not put on what I thought other people felt about me. That was also kind of pushing me back to the things that I already had grown out of. I was putting more on myself that had nothing to do with me. I had to realize and understand in this life, especially in my life now at where I am at, I'm here for a purpose. Y'all will hear me say that all the time. My purpose is to spread love, to show love, to give love, and to help people find their love within themselves. And y'all, it's connected to crochet too. Because I'm intertwining as much as, like I say, stitches to sew, as much as I'm intertwining these stitches and I'm creating these lovely pieces, I'm actually speaking from my heart and my soul as well. But once I realized that and I was able to let go, it was easier for me to understand, like, oh, okay, this right here is all just experiences. And sometimes, as much as you're trying to figure yourself out, imagine what somebody else is trying to do with themselves. I can't sit here and think that you got all the time in the world to just sit here and be at my beck and call, or I be at your beck and call. That's not how life works. We all have other things that's going on and other things that we need to do. So that helped me a lot in my self-love journey, and crochet actually helped me a lot in my self-love journey, because when I started crocheting, I can't remember really from the beginning of when I started crocheting, because a lot of people are like, well, when did you start crocheting? And I would say I'm not sure, just like someone would say, when did you start growing your hair? Y'all, I'm not sure. I really can't remember. And that may be another episode for another time about remembrance, because that's something that I really do have a challenge. It is a challenge for me. So, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today because y'all, this video will be super long. But that was one thing crochet connected me to, that actual love for self, because in the beginning I'm just like, okay, I gotta crochet this, you think you gotta do this right here and that and the third. But I was able to understand that, listen, you crochet what you love, you put your love in these stitches, and that's it. And you have to release it out to the world. Once you done do a thing, that's it. It's like, once you did something, you put your heart into something and you let it go out into this world, that's all. And I always tell people, for me, I plant seeds, right? So it's one thing to plant a seed and you have one of those those plants or those trees that doesn't bear fruit, right? Or doesn't bear anything that can actually help someone. But it shines bright in the beginning, but it never comes back or no other season. That's not who I am as a person. That's not what I wanted to do as a person. So I learned through crochet, I learned through life. Like, I am a seed sower, and people will gravitate and get what they need in that season of their lives. But the beautiful thing about me is that once I put it out there, it has the ability to continue to grow in whatever season that someone is going through. So I learned that with crochet as well, because you can get caught up in crochet, y'all. You can get caught up in trends. You can get caught up in, like, oh my goodness, this right here, I don't like this. People can say your work is bad and all this stuff, and now you're starting to go down like, oh my goodness, I gotta get better. Oh, I gotta do this, and you're starting to see flaws within yourself that's not even there, because it's, again, we're attaching other people opinions, other people ideas, and things on us that got nothing to do with us. So I begin to realize through crochet, I can put a piece of me in these pieces. And guess what? Whoever loves it, loves it. Who don't. And that's okay. That's okay. Everybody is going to have an opinion about something. And I really love the beauty in things like crochet, because when I thought about some craft, sorry, when I thought about Stitches to Soul Love Cast, I was thinking along the lines of, like, crochet, yes, but there's so many other things that people do, and I think this can hold true to a lot of crafters. It can hold true to a lot of people just in life in general. So I hope that y'all got something from this actual love cast. Like I said, I wanted to come and just speak a little bit about self-love. And I would say, ending this off, that, I really feel like loving yourself continues on your duration of this life, because as much as this world is changing, you're changing with it. So you're going to learn throughout this time and throughout your experiences, because that's all life is, a whole bunch of experiences. You will learn how to continue to love yourself at every single level that you actually continue to reach and continue to go at. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be different challenges. What I had to learn in the beginning are not the things that I have to deal with now, but there's a different world now to where my self-love have to actually elevate so that I can understand that the things that I see is not a reflection of myself. The things that people want you to believe is not a reflection of who you are. So you're going to constantly be working on that. And I would tell anyone it's so worth it. It is so worth it. To be able to have your own opinion about yourself and not really care about what other people say, y'all, it is absolutely worth it. You don't look for validation in anybody, because before you can ask anybody anything about yourself, you have to first realize that the person that have the most information about you will be you. Anything that they're telling you is external things, but internally, that's where a whole lot of our truth lies. And sometimes we have to go inside to get that thing. So I said a lot in this video. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. I hope y'all got more crochet than I did, because y'all, listen, I ain't got much crochet. And as I continue to do this, I hope that I'm able to learn how to talk and crochet a little more. Cause y'all, your girl ain't there yet. I'm not there yet. But this was on my heart, and I really feel like I wanted to share this. I hope that y'all got something out of it. And let me see. Oh, we got our inspirational jar. Even though we were talking about self-love, we said a lot in here. So I think there was a lot of good things that was said in here. I still would love to pull out of our inspiration jar, because this is a message that I feel is for someone that stayed to the end of this video and that needs to hear this message. So it says, y'all, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. We can't make this up. Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does, y'all. I know this video is going to make a difference in a lot of my craft and crochet family lives and beyond. Y'all, I want you to hit the subscribe button, share this video if it touched your heart. If you feel that it can touch the heart of others, y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed this journey with me. This is the first of many, and I am going to ease into this thing. Y'all are going to see more, and it will get better with time. Just like wine. I don't drink wine, but it just came to my mind. But let me know what y'all are crocheting in the comments below. Let me know how y'all are feeling. Let me know about y'all journey to self-love. What are some things that y'all learned that you can share to where somebody else may can get that too in the comments below? As always, I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, LadySamoan, and I will see you next time.